everybody. Thank you for joining me here again for the Flight Plan Podcast. We're now in season 2, and this is episode 2. Let's get into it. So maybe about a month or so ago, I did a conference, and I was a keynote speaker, and I asked the audience, I said, how many of you feel as if you're great leaders, effective leaders, and people who are just good at leading? You're just born to lead. And in a room of about 150 people, about 149 raised their hands. And I commend the 150th who didn't raise his hand or her hand. I don't recall who it was exactly, but they were honest enough to admit what their shortcomings are. They were honest enough to admit that they didn't believe that they had what it takes or they weren't ready to be a great leader. But my follow-up question was even more revealing. The question to the audience was, who in this audience knows what it takes to be a great leader? Who in this audience knows what it takes to be an effective leader? Silence. Crickets. And you have one or two say, well, it's be an effective leader, you just have to know how to lead. Very general. Then someone else says, to be an effective leader, you have to first know how to lead people. That's circular thinking. Then I had the third person say, to be a good leader, you have to first be a good follower. This answer intrigued me. Probably because it's one in which I've used to build teams in the past. It's part of my own personal philosophy when I think about what it's taken for me to lead teams in corporate in the past. And a good follower, a good leader must be a good follower. What exactly does that mean? What that means is that you cannot be a leader that just is intent on telling your team what to do without context or without considering ideas or suggestions, because a leader is only as good as a team he leads. Now, if you've ever seen an ineffective leader, that leader is ineffective 9 times out of 10 because he or she has decided that they are the be-all, end-all, and everybody else beyond them or beneath them is just nothing more than peons or idiots or people who don't deserve consideration. But a good leader, a strong leader, a humble leader believes that in order to lead, he needs the help of his team. So kudos to the person that gave me that answer during that conference that day. And she was right on point. A good leader has to first learn how to be a good follower, and not always someone who says, well, you know what? I'm the CEO. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm going to formulate all the ideas. I'm going to create all the plans. I'm going to take this company in a direction I think it should go in. When you are blessed with a talented team, or at least a few talented people who are interested in having the enterprise, the company, the organization succeed, the best thing you could do for that org as a leader is to consider all opinions, is to consider the feedback, to consider the input, because in order to be a good leader, you have to also, there's another portion to this, you have to also have people in your team, on your team, in your organization who want to be led by you. And why would someone want to be led by you if they feel like you're a dictator? The answer is they don't want to be led by you if they feel like you're a dictator. Any organization that you're a lead, that you're the lead, that you're in charge of, that you are and been tasked with organizing, you are going to have to be someone who is lead worthy. And lead worthiness, a huge portion of lead worthiness means that you have to value the individual contributions of everybody on your team, and everybody in that org, and everybody in your department. You can never underestimate the value of learning how to be a good follower in the midst of leading. Food for thought today. Thank you for spending time with me on the Flight Plan Podcast, Season 2, Volume 2. Book your executive clarity call, SwordPRBrown.com. and I'll see you soon.